people on YouTube Live. Welcome back to the One in a Million channel. My name is Eunice Chan, and it's a pleasure to have you guys here today as we dive into the conversation of money. So, I am personally feeling a little bit nervous about delivering this topic because this is something that just hit me today, and this is something that I literally just channeled from a client conversation that I had this morning, and all the concepts that I knew about money, all the things that I've been playing with money, all my current and recent experiences with money have been reflected in this new diagram, new paradigm, new way of relating with money, and everything just crystallized on this one call today that I delivered to a client. Everything that I'm sharing with you today is hot and fresh and undiluted. So bear with me if I'm like thinking of the back of my mind and like trying to find the words. What do we do when we feel like money is finite and like the money that I have, the pool of money that I have, the pool of resources that I have it feels like it's eventually going to run out. One thing that I've been sharing with them and encouraging them to do, one of my biggest advice to, I would say, like most of my clients is like, you've got to be willing to spend some of the hard-earned money on yourself for your happiness, for the sake of your well-being, for your mental wellness, to show yourself some love, to give back to yourself. But oftentimes, the biggest resistance that come from my clients, and I believe that I'm a very suitable candidate to talk about this because I was also one of the kind of people that resisted spending money on myself. Like I would put myself last, and all of the expenses that I have went to my business, went to needs, went to necessities, went to surviving, went to everything else except for myself. It felt like money just left me. And as I learned to play with different ways to experience money that I have, to experience the abundance that was coming into my world, to actually be able to appreciate it, to hold it, to experience the wealth and the abundance that I have, it changed the way that I saw the money paradigm. When I was able to explain it to my clients this way, they're like, oh my gosh, it really feels a lot more empowering to see the new paradigm than to continue to believe that money is going to leave me, than to continue to believe that money is a finite resource and that it's going to leave me and it's never going to come back. And even when I do have more money coming into my world, I tend to have more expenses as well. So like, it kind of feels like I'm just this handler of the money, and it comes in one way and it goes out the other. So let me know in the chat if you happen to be here, say hi. And if you ever have felt like money wasn't here to stay, or you felt like there was just some kind of energetic leak and you had no idea why money wouldn't stay in your life, why money kept leaking, why resources kept leaking, and for some reason, the more money came into your world, the more money left. There is no more disempowering feeling than to feel like money has to dictate all of my life decisions. It has to dictate what I eat. It has to dictate what I buy at the grocery store. It has to dictate how I live, how I treat myself. It has to dictate all of my life decisions. And can you imagine how disempowering and how small that feels every time you open your bank account, every time you look at your expenses, your bills? Everything just felt like it's just not within my control, right? It just feels like it just keeps going out. Now, there are several concepts that I wanted to bring to the table. There are several concepts that people generally talk about money in a certain way that I wanted to share with you that I felt like have dictated how I spent money in the past. So I'll give you an example. When people said, you have to spend money to make money, right? You have to spend money to make money. So whatever money that I have, if I want to make more, then it means that I have to spend whatever I have available. And I feel like I can't keep anything. So that's the first belief that we have got to break, because I don't think that's necessarily true. You don't necessarily always have to spend money to make money. There are other kinds of abundance and resources that you can have access to, that you already have available in your life, that you can capitalize on, that you can make money upon. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is money needs to flow. Money needs to flow. So what that means is, what that belief basically says is, well, you can't hold on to it. Well, that's true. You can't hold on to it. So what do you need to do? You need to continue to circulate money so that money continues to flow into your life. Just so you can complete the motion, just so you can complete the full picture of where money needs to go. Now, this belief, I believe, needs to be exercised very carefully, because if all we were doing is flowing money, then all money will do is just flow past our hands, go through our fingers, and then it's going to slip through our hands. And so I think we need to exercise this belief with caution, because it's not just as simple as money needs to flow. What these beliefs do to us is that oftentimes we feel like we can't actually spend the money that we want to for ourselves. We can't prioritize our well-being. We can't, and even if we spend it, it won't come back, and because we don't know where it's going to come from, and we can't see a bigger amount coming into our lives. And so it causes a lot of stress, worry, anxiety, not knowing what we're going to receive the next month, not knowing how much more we're going to receive the next month, not knowing how much I can spend in this moment, because what if I don't receive more in the coming weeks and months? A lot of times it feels like the money that we're spending is the last that we have left. And so this is why I wanted to talk about it, because it feels so limiting. And every single time I looked at my money, there was this feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm just so small. I feel like money controlled everything in my life. I would not allow myself to order the thing that I want on the menu, and I would always order just the item that is the lowest price, that is the cheapest. And sometimes I may even resort to just having water. I'm not even gonna have a juice, I'm not even gonna have a coffee, I'm just gonna ask for tap water. So that's how it drove and dictated my life, and I prioritized my happiness last. So I'm going to tell you how everything changed for me, and how I was able to change this money paradigm in a way that actually made intellectual sense for me. Now I see money differently. I see the operation and the flow of money differently, and my intention of this video is to be able to articulate this to you so that you can also benefit that from the receiving end. The way that I used to see money is a linear paradigm. Okay, so there's a timeline to it. There is a finite amount of money that I can receive, and there's also a finite amount of money that I can give, I can circulate, that can come out of my world, right? It's a very finite system. The way that it works, this linear paradigm, is that I know exactly where this money is going to come from. It's a source of income, or it can come from a gift, or it can come from like a predictable source. And then what this money does is that it passes through me. So I'm the manager of the money for a while, but I don't feel like I ever really owned the money. And then it passes through me and goes outwards to my expenses, to my spendings, to my bills, to food, to rent, to everything that I need to spend on to survive. Because there's only a very finite amount that comes into my world, there's only so much that I can give. and there's only so much that I can actually handle and manage at any given time. And there will be no more than that because there's only one source of money coming in, right? There's only one source, and there's a finite amount of money coming in, and that money dictates how I live, how I feel, what I allow for myself. Now, the new paradigm that I've been playing with, that I've been tapping into, that's really opened my eyes and opened my experience to a new way of experiencing money is a radial paradigm. So if you're a visual person, I'm really sorry I don't have a diagram to show you, but it's a radial paradigm, meaning that it's like money surrounds you, abundance surrounds you, and it's like everything is in 360 degrees. And in the center of all of that is you. Okay? So in the center of all this abundance is you. Money and any forms of abundance and any forms of wealth or prosperity or well-being all surrounds you, and you are in the center of it. Your job and your core soul function is being an energetic converter. What that means is you can take any of this energy that surrounds you, any of the energy that is in your system, in your body, you can take all of this energy and convert it into tangible forms of resources, tangible forms of wealth, tangible forms of prosperity. So your soul function is just being a conversion center, and all the abundance is already around you. So it's a radial system, and what that means is there is no limit to how much you convert. The more that you are in the energy of abundance, well-being, you are experiencing safety, joy, happiness, creativity, the more you're converting all this energy into tangible forms of resources like money, relationships, connections, opportunities, job offers, discounts, coupons, free stuff, gifts, gift money, and all those fun things. Because you are the conversion center, you don't have to be responsible for the money that comes in. You don't have to be responsible for the wealth and abundance that is around you. You don't have to worry about, oh, maybe there's not enough money coming in, or maybe there's not enough resources around me. You're already surrounded by it. All you need to do is just convert the energy into tangible form of resources. Now, the reason I say that you're a conversion center is because you are equal parts of human and equal parts of soul. And when you can take energy and convert into physical because you're a human, then you can actually do things. You can take action. You can make a plan. You can do things. You can make an impact. You can help someone. You can write an idea. You can write a proposal. Like, you can actually convert the energy into the tangible form of physical wealth. So what that means is the more you allow yourself to experience radiance, abundance, well-being, happiness, joy, stability, safety in your own system, in your nervous system, the more abundance gets converted. The more of this abundant energy gets to come out on the other side. And the more abundance gets converted, the more tangible wealth you're going to have. Now, I'm not saying that the abundance equals money. I'm saying that when you convert this abundance that you are experiencing in your system, that you will have different forms of tangible wealth that is not just limited to money. So for example, if you are radiant and you're like building good relationships and you happen to be talking to a neighbor and your neighbor offers you a free ride, that is a tangible form of abundance, because then you get to save money from an Uber trip, for example. What this means in this new paradigm is that there's no limit to how much you have access to, because you're in the center of it all. You don't have to create wealth. You don't have to create abundance. You don't have to create well-being. All you have to do is just experience all the well-being that is already around you. Experience all the joy that you can hold in your body, and all the safety that you want to experience, and then within your system you convert all that energy into tangible forms of wealth. So this, my friends, is literally a limitless form of energetic conversion, because there's no limit to how much positive energy, how much loving, unconditionally loving and infinite energy that surrounds you. All it matters is how much can you handle? How much love can you handle? How much happiness do you allow in your life? How much gratitude can you experience simultaneously when something good happens in your life, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to run out. Oh my gosh, maybe this person just have ulterior motives when they're doing something good for me. Like, how much gratitude can you actually experience when something good happens in your life, instead of just jumping into doom, into looking forward to, what's the next bad thing that could happen, or maybe my luck is going to run out. Ask yourself, how much well-being, how much happiness, how much joy, how much self-love I can hold within my system. Now, if the answer that you're receiving, right, as you ask these questions is, well, actually, I haven't really allowed myself to experience self-love, and I haven't allowed myself to experience a lot of safety in my body, then that, my friends, is a good place to start. And you don't even have to start with like, I am on level 100 self-love and I love myself and I'm walking on sunshine all the time. Like, you don't have to be all the way over there. You can start with where you are, and bit by bit allow yourself to experience more vitality, more joy, more happiness. And as you learn to deepen, you will realize that your conversion of this energy becomes more and more functional, it becomes more and more effective and efficient, and you will see more tangible forms of wealth and prosperity show up in your life. Your relationships get better, the conversations are deeper, you have better friendships, you have more business proposals, you have clients coming back to you. And it would seem like, oh, all of a sudden they're just like coincidences in your system. But let me tell you, they are not coincidences, because you are constantly converting invisible and intangible forms of energy into tangible forms of energy and abundance at the same time, all the time. I'm going to name this the wheel of materialization. Your soul function is being the wheel of materialization, and all you have to do is just feed energy into your system. If it means that you want to spend money on yourself, you want to help yourself feel good, you want to invest in your own well-being, understand that this well-being is going to convert back into different forms of wealth. The biggest takeaway that I have in experiencing all of this, before I wrap this up, I think if there's nothing else that I want you guys to take away, is the fact that with the new way of experiencing money and abundance, and knowing that we are the conversion center of this energy, instead of seeing money as a pre-existing condition for our happiness, it's very empowering to know that we don't have to worry about the source of abundance, and to know that money is actually just a result of our well-being and happiness. So this is something that I hope is going to touch your heart. I hope that it's going to help you liberate from your current existing relationship with money. Like, if you already have a beautiful relationship with money, raise your hands, let me know. I would love to celebrate with you. And if this video has helped you open up a whole, like your eyes, and open up a whole new world of experiencing money, experiencing your own abundance, then let me know as well in the comments. I would love to celebrate as well with you. And let me know what you think about this video. With that said, thank you so much for being here, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video.